What are you saying yes to that costs too much? The first week of the challenge, we've talked about how we don't listen to our body. You know, our body is telling us clear messages. Even when we want to say no, we bend our head in it and we're not sure of the answer, but yet we say yes, okay, I'll do it. And all the times we override ourselves or we pretend like we're gonna do something to help somebody else, but really inside we're like, no. Sometimes we literally have somatic feelings of headaches or stomach aches because it's so against what we want to do. And even taking no crumbs, we go ahead and allow things in our life that we don't even want. So the thing is, that's not even on other people. It's on us. It's us negotiating with what our truth is. It's amazing because it's how our brain has been wired. It's things that have happened to us before. How you feel about yourself is how you allow other people to show up and respect you. You know, I mean, I think about this time. I was 8.5. I was 8.5 and I was hiding behind the couch. And my mom couldn't see me and she was talking to one of the neighbors and I heard her say, I love Dara, but I don't like her. I don't know what context or how pissed off she would be at me or what I did to possibly even create that situation. I just know is that there was an 8.5-year-old little girl behind a couch that the adults didn't know they could see her. But in my mind, I heard that my mom does not like me. I mean, I don't know. We all have these stories. They're like little traumas versus big traumas, right? You have the big traumas of physical things that happen to us that create huge changes, and then we have these little T's, these things that happen that wire the way that we might have perceptions of the world. So yeah, no wonder why if I don't think my mom likes me, I'm gonna be willing to take crap and crumbs from other people in my life. I mean, it's not even any different than I'm making a wrap, right, for lunch. And I have these cherry tomatoes and I love them. And whenever I go to eat tomatoes, I think of when I went to college in Johnson City, Tennessee. And I dated this guy. So if you're out there, I remember the tomatoes. And we would go to his house and they had these big tomatoes that were like eating apples, like candy. And it was so soft and it was so juicy. And I remember how I felt like it was fun, but that's what our brain does. It's like a camera. It holds on to certain things and it doesn't hold on to other things. I'm Dr. Dara. I'm a psychologist and I'm also a performance coach and I'm a mom. And my intention is for us to come home in ourselves and stop being in such disarray and thinking that we have to be better, different, and doing more stuff. So if you have these messages where you were at when you were a kid, then you're all of a sudden going to be showing up in life with this part of you that thinks that you should be different, that you should be better, that there's not a truth in what goes on. And even where I'm at in my own life, you know, my mom has Alzheimer's and she's been transitioning into a different facility and she's confused and she's overwhelmed and she's mad. And I get these calls from her of like, why did you do this to me? And what kind of daughter would do this? And she doesn't understand what's going on. But for whatever happens for her and her little T's in her life, it's showing up. So every time she says that to me, it feels like a, right? It's like a big kick in the gut because I hear, I don't like you. You're not good enough. What kind of little girl does that to her mother? And my grown-ass woman is like, oh, I feel bad. So it's definitely been this like practice of like noticing it, hearing what's going on, and tending to myself in a way that I can feel safe and I can trust myself. Because the essence of it is that if you have felt like you can't be safe in this world, that you're not liked or you're not feeling a sense of connection, then what can you trust? And that's gonna move us into the next week of our challenge here of being at home in yourself is trusting, knowing that there's something bigger beyond us that can help us kind of move ahead. And more than that, it's trusting in yourself. Because if you've been beat up and the messages in your head are that you're not good enough, that's the things that you're gonna do, not good enough actions. But we can rewire that. We can change the way that your brain has been thinking about different situations and different scenarios that you've had in your past. So yay for that, right? That we can show up differently and that we aren't who maybe we think we should have been or who we were told we are. I sound kind of like Dr. Seuss. But that can be rewired. And the other part of it is as these traumas happen, these little T's and these big T's, they land in our bodies. You know, when I was getting towards like 10, 11 years old, I started having these stomach aches and they took me to the doctors. And I played competitive tennis. I would literally be throwing up or have diarrhea before I went on the court every single time because I had such nerves. And then in life, I had stomach aches and they're taking me for upper GIs and lower GIs and all these things when the reality is I had a nervous stomach. I think that's what they even diagnosed and said, here, drink this stuff. No, it was because of the way that I was feeling about myself from the messages that I received. Is it because of the message my mom gave me? I don't know. My reality is I was getting lots of accompanied messages with that of not being enough or being liked. You know, on the tennis court, I had one of those strong tennis dads and I had those strong Hispanic tennis coaches in South Florida. Who knows where these messages come? Because we can try in the best of scenarios to raise our kids. I have 2 of them, you know, and I'm constantly putting another dollar in the therapy bucket for all the ways that maybe I'm messing up or the things that I might not be doing that are ideal. But at the end of the day, I'm doing the best I can. And I have awareness and I have insight and I'm seeing the patterns that are happening and showing up for me. And I notice where it lands in my body now. And I can feel that tension. You know, there's these parts that have had such reactions to the things that have happened in my life. I feel like this protector sometimes, and I notice that there's this inner child inside of me that is scared. And so I am with my patterns now, and I see that. And so when I do get those calls from my mom right now, I'm noticing how I need to care for myself and what it is that I need to be able to have like trust in me. And I'm curious how that's showing up for you and what your patterns are. So as we're pushing into this next portion and you're creating your own shift and coming home in you, what would be one thing specifically that you notice you're saying yes to and really you're saying no, really you want to say no, and it's costing so much of yourself? Is it in a relationship with somebody in your family? Do you constantly say yes because at the end of the day, you're concerned that they won't love you or think enough of you? Are you doing it with your partner? You know, are you showing up with your partner and constantly doing and being who you think they think you should be instead of who you are in here, you know, getting outside of yourself? Are you just running around so fast, staying busy, always taking on another accomplishment or accolade just to try to like not be who you are or to feel the things that you're feeling? This is about authentically showing up as you are. And it doesn't mean things always have to be fixed. You know, our culture and our society is constantly saying, fix you, fix you. You know, the psychologist in me, oh, well, we can do this to make it better. Yes, of course. But there's also parts of just having some peace of where you are now and just noticing it. So when those responses happen inside your body, you're like, okay, all right, but I'm safe. I'm good. I can trust. I can land right where I am now. So identify where your yeses are costing you too much. And we're gonna move into those spaces of trusting ourselves. This is the shift, you know? When I keep talking to myself, I do it a lot, and to you, right? I realize I am the shift because I get it. And I'm navigating and moving through all of this as gracefully as I can. People have been saying to me, but you're a psychologist. Why are you sharing all this? We all put our panties on the same way. And for me to sit here and act like everything is just fine and perfect, that wouldn't be realistic. And I don't think you need to anymore either. So show up with your cancer spots, right? Be who you are in this moment, and let's keep shifting together. And notice some of the little memories that you have. I'll hold on to that tomato experience that I had. That's how our brain wires. Let's keep going. This is the shift. Hang with me.